Welcome listeners to LENZO'S MEMOIRS. On this episode, the discussion is around Nigerian banks as loan sharks they are. Because a loan shark is defined as one who lends money at exorbitant rates of interest. From that definition alone, they are guilty. And exorbitant simply means unreasonably high. And that's what actually, brings about this episode. Why are interest rates so high in Nigeria? Why do the banks make it so? What are all their excuses? They are not the only banks in the world. They always have a reason to make it so. But before I continue, there has been a milestone achievement that I personally know of, not only I know it, but it's been in the news, and we must celebrate any victory we have as a nation. And, after 10 years, contract staffing and outsourcing in financial institution employment guidelines was signed by Dr. Chris Ngige, the Labour Minister, and the financial institutions. That is a fantastic story. Because for a long time, personally, I always felt that our bankers were being treated like shit. As in, people of little value. You see them on the streets, no. They dress when they are going to work, but they have nothing based on earnings. They complain constantly. You just put them on outsourcing, different kind of evil formats being, designed on top of their lives. You just give someone a contract, you just collect people and, A friend of mine that is a banker said the banks have upped their game, hence my own joy though. Because it's still a step in the right direction. But these banks were given licenses primarily to stimulate the economy. You have to stimulate the economy. You have to, take the economy forward. But obviously, it is actually a part of their licensing that they have been least concerned about. They have actually been least concerned about it because the basic workings of any bank is just services. Services. You are to collect depositor funds and under, guidelines provided by your bank, lend out back to the economy so that the economy can prosper. These are the primary functions of banks. Now, I am not a banker, neither am I a lawyer, but I like to reason. And that's why I do this podcast. Let's reason together. Let's discuss. Because, you see, there is no shortcut to it. This is our existence. Being smart doesn't really get any one of us far, so it can't get all of us far unless we work together. Nigerian banks are not stimulating the economy. Ever since President Buhari has come in, the CBN has been acting as the chief facilitator of the economy. They have been pushing everything. Everything that has been pushing the economy has been coming from the central bank. The central bank now having to do the work of the commercial banks. I can understand you can't just bulldoze them because of history, but with digitization now, with e-Naira active, the banks have to just simply sit up. It is about growing the economy and not growing the pockets of the bank executives, please. Because first quarter of this year alone, 2022, first quarter, 13 banks made up to 1.54 trillion in the first quarter of 2022. Doing what? Managing money. They're just managing money. Now, you are now finding out that prime lending rates is between 20 and 27%. Medium lending rate is as high as 36%. Why? You are making so much money, but you are not ready to lend. Citing risk. Now, if you as a bank that is to stimulate the economy want someone that is to take the actual risk on a business to give you that you are using other people's funds, 36%, 20%, that you don't want to take risk, yet when these banks fold up, when they have issues, AMCON dives in to save them. And when they fold up like all them Skybank, the executives just walk. So what are we really doing? What are we calling it? Is it a circus? Because the money is ours. Depositor funds is actually ours. You refuse to give us. You tell us that if we want to come and borrow money from you, the money is not yours. It's actually insured. So with all these mechanisms in place, you, the owner of the business that you're a bank, what do you really do? What do you really do? We're in a digital age. You're always, I don't understand. Obscene profits. Obscene. For doing nothing. Now, you have a right to make the profit. I have no issues with it. But if you are not at the same time stimulating the economy as you should be, you are leaving all that to the CBN. Because we should really look at it. The CBN came in under the leadership of the present CBN governor, started an Anchor Borrower program to stimulate the economy. Now we are eating Nigeria right. So stimulation of the economy is actually very critical for the banks. I am not a banker, like I said, neither am I a lawyer. But I think it's high time as a nation, all of us sit down and really reason our issues. Because there's no shortcut. The news is out there now. All of us are getting the update. Nigerian youths are committing. The latest one now is sextortion. You read an article from Washington Post, you see that West Africa, aka Nigeria and Ivory Coast, is where these crimes are being perpetrated from. In Nigeria, you start talking of money rituals. They are looking for money inside human beings, ready to eat everything. But these are effects of these banks not actually stimulating the economy. These guys have ideas, they have things, you give them outrageous conditions, you are just looking for your own safety. The entire business is now yours and is only your pocket. The country can't be safe for you now. Because you now hear they kidnap someone's son, they kidnap, everybody now start looking for this money in obscene places. The data is there for all of us. But if all of us sit down, because I am not a banker, but if you can get 5-3% loans abroad, why is it so impossible to achieve here? And please, let bankers explain to me, when a policy of global standing order is now in place, that if you give someone money, anywhere that person has money, you must collect your money back. What other risk are these banks taking? That they are collecting 20 to 36%. And other amounts that are not even known by the customers. And these customers are still part of those that own the money in the banks. So did we give these people license to just carve sense over us and just be making money? And I don't know. We need as a nation, to really, discuss amongst ourselves. It is not a fight or a blow thing. The glass boost now just reason. Let's just keep reasoning. Because, look, the failure of the banks has been the success of these online loan sharks. The failure, it's not, for me, there's nothing in between the two. Because their success has been outstanding. They just came into the economy and they started blowing. Look at the POS operators. Look at the money they are making. The other day I saw that instant payment was 400 trillion in Nigeria. And the banks themselves are playing catch up. They are unbundling themselves. They are not trying to enter every sector of the financial space. But the key part that is theirs, which is stimulating the economy by lending money, it is a tug of war. Why? Loan sharks have come that government is now chasing them because more people need money. Yes, credit rating is very low in Nigeria. I agree. But the global standing order is actually one of the best ways to actually tackle it. There's a risk. But it is not by taking exorbitant interest rates that you mitigate against this risk now. Someone will take a loan of 30 million and will now be owing 100 million, and you think you are doing a business. You think you are doing a business. Bad loans everywhere. If with all this money you are paying your so-called risk managers, how come the banks still have so many bad loans? Because we really need to discuss it, please. We just need to. Because as it is, the loan sharks that government, because Federal Consumer Protection Agency is going over after all these loan sharks on the internet. Meanwhile, the CBN is leaving the loan sharks in front of us, which are the banks that they sit together. Why? They should please, anybody that knows, put it as a comment somewhere. Please listen, share, comment, subscribe, and follow, like I'm always pleading. But more importantly, let's start this discussion. Why is it impossible for Nigerian banks to lend Nigerians money, their own depositor funds, at reasonable interest rates to drive the economy? Why is it such an arbitrous and impossible task? Because I will not lie to you guys. English now if you run now. Now pidgin will they speak for this country. I beg, explain in pidgin. Because people like say, if they say make una explain for English, una go find one word where we go they check for dictionary. But as per streets, now reason with the reason and the complaint is just annoying. People don't even trust them anymore. And please, Nigerians, e-naira is already alive. Let's actually use this e-naira because these banks are just ripping us. They're just ripping us. You put money, to put money in, you pay. To collect money, you pay. To borrow your own money back, you still pay extra. What kind of business is that? Business model is that? Please, let's reason it. And I hope you guys reason with me after listening. Thank you.